thank you so much, my brother, for coming on tonight to help me out again with an interview. I love you so much. Take a minute to introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Rufus Silas, originally from Long Island, New York. At the present, I reside in Atlanta, Georgia. Been here for now, too long.
Wow. Long time.
Been an amazing ride, and I'm just excited I can come on and help my sister in her candidacy for a doctorate degree. So.
Yeah, here we go, right? No, that's just good. I appreciate you, bro, coming on to share with me. And we're talking about landmarks. I had to write a paper on landmarks, and you were one of the people I included in my paper. And the landmarks is just talking about people or places or events in your life that help you get to where you are in leadership, because it's about leadership. This is about leadership. And you were in my community. When I say my community, my family, and we watched each other grow. Look, we brother and sister, blood brother and sister. Though we didn't grow up in the same house, we still grew up together.
Right.
So we had events together. You saw me go do different things. I saw you go to different things, get married, have children, all that type of stuff. So when I think about those things and how we kind of grew together and things that you saw in my life as I grew, maybe share something about whatever. Just take something there before I go to the question.
Yeah, well, a lot of things I remember when we was young. Like you said, we didn't grow up in the same house, but I knew my sister. And I've always loved you. And, you've always been such an inspiration because I have seen you grow. And a lot of things that I tell people about my sister, I said, I've never seen her wear pants. I tell them that all the time. They look at me like I'm crazy, but I can appreciate Aunt Pearl and the way your upbringing, and I know it was the seeds that you sowed into my life and Aunt Pearl that back then I didn't realize how they would help shape my life as I grew older. So that was just some early childhood memories about coming over to be with you and Aunt Pearl and to going to church, sometimes kicking and screaming.
No, that's right.
But I remember those, and I remember meeting the pastor's daughter, which was your sister-in-law, and then that gave me a reason to go to church a little more.
Talk a little bit about going to church.
Those were some good times.
That was great. That's good. Yeah, we had some good times coming up when I think back. When I think about the phases that I went through, growing up through high school and into the church and the different positions that I had, Sunday school teacher, teaching the kids and all of those things. But when our paths did cross, like if I was down there in Florida or wherever we crossed as we got adults, as we became adults. I know I'm talking about adulthood now. Right. And my life, was there anything about my life that inspired you? Or you even thought about,
Well, I just saw what to me, you were just an amazing sister, an amazing mother, an amazing believer, and I knew that I had a sister who had a relationship with God and that you prayed, I had that rough patch in my life, but I can say this, I never felt like you ever judged me. In spite of what I was doing, you always told me you loved me and encouraged me, and and because of that, it was just, I always just felt loved, and I could appreciate that. Sometimes family be like, you're a black sheep and you this and that. I never got that.
No.
It helped me in some rough times in my life. And so
I never looked at you like that.
Yeah. And it made it different. It made it different. Yeah. And so anybody who know you, you've always been consistent. And that's hard to find some people. When you see people, sometimes you never know what you're gonna get.
Right.
But you've always been the same. So
I appreciate that. Mm-hmm. One last question. And I guess this is kind of repetitive because I guess maybe you might have answered it, but in a position, my leadership position that I hold, in the church, You know, I hold so many hats in the church, but the leadership position that we have in the church as leading the ministry and all the things that we do, how has that affected you?
You know, I think in every Christian walk, you need somebody you can look and try to model, you know, and I saw you and Pastor Jefferson, and I've always admired how, regardless of where you were, you couldn't tell that even when the hard times and the struggles, you know, because a lot of times Christians are judged when you're going through. Because sometimes people say, they just be broken down. Say, aren't you a child of God? Don't you know how you fight on your knees and stuff like that? One thing I noticed with your leadership, whether you was good days or bad days, your faith never wavered.
That's it.
And I think leadership, that's what you need to see in leadership. Because a lot of times you say Christians be on roller coasters. One minute things are good, they up. But when they down, you be like, what happened to that faith you just had when it was going good? You know?
When it was good. Right.
Yeah. And I saw you and Ralph, how y'all had some rough times, but through it all, y'all just kept on pressing, never wavered. And that's something that I think exemplified you and him and showed, you know, remarkable leadership. And that's why I believe y'all are in the position that y'all are in, because only God can elevate. You know, y'all were some humble servants. Y'all served his dad well, even when you was overlooked, didn't matter, because you knew you had a bigger calling. You, where y'all are, y'all deserve it in my eyes.
Thank you. You know, I'm so glad that I had a part in you giving your life to Christ.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm so happy that there was I took part in that, and I take pride in that, saying, hey, you know, even though we grew up apart, we were close enough together that I could, you know, say, hey, you know, there's another way.
Yes, it is. And I knew, I felt, and when I was out there in the world, I used to always say, I got, you know, my sister prayed for me 20 years. Your faith in God to deliver me is just, you know, and I think back and I get emotional because I said, you know, I had a sister who was praying for me. And when I was out there doing all that foolish stuff, I said her needs is probably like leather.
Oh, but he turned it around. He turned it around.
You know, that's the one to never give up.
And look, that's right. Yeah. That's how we know we never give up. I love you so much, bro.
Oh, I love you.
You know, I'm always there for you. You're always there for me.
Yes.
I appreciate you so much. So we're going to sign off now. And thank you again. Any last words?
Yeah, you know what? Whoever's going to watch this video, you know, you got an amazing candidate, and you know what? Strong faith, great leader, humble servant. You know, those are just a few of the characteristics that I see in my sister. And you know, I'm still expecting great things, and God's gonna do it. And I know he will. And I'm gonna say it in advance. Congratulations on his doctorate degree.
Keep those things that on as though they are.
That's right. I love you so much. I'm always there for you.
I love